that. And so if I am so focused on staying on the line, I can't fulfill my assignment. But my God is big enough to handle my fault, my strokes, grubs, my mess ups, because he's already prepared for what I might do. He knows what I'm going to do before I do it, and he already made preparation for me before I get there. What follows darkness is light. That darkness is the indicator that light is getting ready to shine. So there it is in Genesis, when darkness was upon the face of the deep, and God in the spirit form moved upon the face of the waters, and then God said, let there be. Because darkness precedes the light. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But he needs the darkness there so that God can move upon the face of the deep, so that the shift can take place. Listen, look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor that shift take place in the darkness. I got to hear what I just said. Everybody's not going to see the shift that's happening. They see the chaos, but they don't see the shift. They see all the craziness going on in your life, but they don't understand that underneath the darkness, God is moving in secret. He's moving in quiet. He's moving in the hidden places. He's moving in the cracks and the corners and the crevices. He's moving in places that you cannot see. And when the light comes, they're going to see a new order. untying, not cutting, but untying. And so the universe then has no choice. First attribute of the secret place. The secret place is a place of revelation. It makes you free because it awakens you and makes you consciously aware that everything that you thought was holding you is an illusion. Be better if I turned on the microphone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Emerge Empowerment Session, where we are equipping you with all the tools that you will ever need in order to make your spiritual journey toward wholeness. We are so glad that you've decided to be with us this morning. I'm excited to be able to share with you on the topic that we'll be discussing this morning. I think that it's going to be extremely helpful to those of you who are participating. You are going to definitely be blessed and empowered and positively impacted by what you will hear today. As always, this is an interactive conversation, so I definitely want to have your input, your thoughts, your ideas, as well as any questions that you might have on the particular subject. As we've been talking in our the last few empowerment sessions, that right now we're in this period of time where it's a time for introspection, a time for soul cleansing, to give your soul a good showering and washing away those things that no longer serve you, those things that are just dead weight, and raising your vibration to a level that aligns with the destiny that you have set for your life. Man, I'm sweating. You see all that? Lord, I'm shiny. Y'all know sometimes I can be silly. Okay, but I was shiny though. And so today, we want to continue that conversation from a different perspective. As you can see, the topic for this morning is soul cleansing. Examining external cues. Now, before we get into the conversation, I want to encourage those of you who are watching, please like this video. Go ahead and copy the share link and share it in your group chat. Share it with your friends. Those of you who are on Facebook, share it on your Facebook page so that others can come over and be a part of the conversation with us this morning. I think it's going to be a very intense and impactful conversation. It's going to be, it's going to be very good. Oh my, excuse me, that was rude, huh? It's going to be very impactful, very useful to you in developing and evolving on your spiritual journey. If you don't have your coffee or whatever your favorite beverage is, go ahead and grab it real quick before we get started. Make yourself comfortable. Take out pen and paper or recording device or whatever you use to take notes so that you're able to refer back to them later. We're going to try and cover a lot of ground this morning because this conversation is broad. And so there's a lot of avenues and perspectives that we can look at this from. And I'm going to try and cover as many as we possibly can this morning, without going too long. I don't want to bore those of you who are on. We seem to be missing quite a few people this morning, our normal crew. So if you know them, go ahead and contact them and send them a text or something along those lines. We're not on Facebook, so you can't tag anyone. Unless if you are sharing it on your Facebook page, then you can tag as many people as you choose on Facebook. And I would appreciate that. Definitely those of you on Facebook who are sharing it on Facebook, tag as many people as you can, invite them to come and be a part of it. Nevertheless, we're going to move forward. Man, it must be kind of warm in here because you see I'm shining again. I'm sweating.
I might need to adjust the temperature. Okay, so we're talking about soul cleansing, examining external cues. Let's begin the conversation by repeating a premise that I continuously say. Two things. I'm going to give you a premise as well, a principle, as well as a law. Here is the principle that everything is for you, nothing is against you. Everything and everyone is for you. Now that last part is the one where people struggle, that everyone, because it's hard to think of people who we think negatively interact or impact our lives as being for us. But we understand that because we are divine beings, we have the capacity to transmute even the darkest energy and reshape it into form that serves us. So everything and everyone is for us, and absolutely nothing and no one is against us. Whether they think that it is conscious or unconscious, they are not against us. Everything is for us. All things are interwoven and interconnected and work together, creating a synergistic mechanism that brings it to a head, or brings it to a final conclusion that is for our good. Everything is interwoven and interconnected, that is designed for our ultimate good. It is designed for our ultimate good. Okay? Here is the law. This is, and again, very familiar for those of you who have been following me for any period of time. But this is the law that our conversation this morning is based upon. Your outer world of form and experience is a reflection of your inner world of thought and feelings. Your outer world of form and experience. This is a law. This is an absolute, irrevocable law. Okay? Your outer world of form and experiences is a reflection of your inner world of thought and feelings. That what is taking place with you internally vibrates outward, releasing that energy into the universe, and the universe is designed meticulously to give you an outpicturing of that energy that you are radiating forward. Whatever energy you are releasing into the universe, and that energy is released through our thoughts, words, and deeds, our most dominant thoughts, which are mental units of energy, radiates outwardly, and the universe is meticulously designed to give us an outpicturing or a reflection of our most dominant thoughts, our being, so that it reflects back to us a outpicturing, a three-dimensional form or experience that mirrors what's taking place internally. So many times people are unconscious or unaware of what is really taking place in their innermost being, at their core, that those dominant thoughts that are not always They don't always sit in our conscious awareness. They are sometimes, and in many times, they sit in our subconsciousness or unconscious awareness. That it is woven into the DNA of our soul that has been given to us or imposed upon us by our lived experiences that we have mentally pushed away, blocked out, but they have produced a residue of a dominant thought that projects and directs our behavior, our choices, and decisions. We move the way that we move because of an underlying thought, idea, belief that we have accepted as our truth. Whether consciously or unconsciously, we have accepted this particular underlying thought, idea, belief as our truth, and so we function, we operate, we move based upon that underlying belief. Even though we may hear, and we are hearing something different from others that are around us, and maybe from a teacher, an instructor, a leader, a friend, or a loved one, because that residue of those underlying foundational thoughts still remain, have never been unearthed, never been uncovered, have never surfaced, brought to the surface so they could be handled, dealt with, and transmuted, then that energy flow is the substratum or the foundation of our choices and our decisions, even our words and our perception or perspective of the things that we see and encounter throughout our life. And so the universe is designed, it's almost like a genie in a bottle that is like, your wish is my command. Whatever you commanded, whatever you wish it, whatever you desire, whatever energy you release into it, like a giant copy machine, it takes your original and duplicates it multiple times and presents it back to you. It's designed to give you a clear three-dimensional representation, a manifestation of what's taking place inside of you internally. And so many of you who are watching, and many people throughout the earth, find themselves seemingly trapped in a loop, in a cycle where they continuously keep having the same experiences, the same relationships, the same encounters again and again and again and again. The same situations keep coming up, the same circumstances keep arising, the same toxic, dysfunctional, broken relationships keep occurring. You keep having these cyclical experiences with those things that don't serve your highest good, that don't align themselves with your highest vision and version of yourself, and you are wondering why. And those who are of a religious ilk will, out of that victimology mindset that is promoted by religion, will then begin to blame something external, like, bad luck or a devil or a demon or a spirit or bad energy or someone working witchcraft on me or somebody's putting a spell on me or someone has worked roots on me, and so this is happening to me. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, all of that is nonsense. You are getting the results. You are getting the effect of the seeds of causality that are emanating from within you. We all live, and I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it again, and I hope that it is driven deep within your psyche. We all live in the matrix of the reality that we create for ourselves. Every occurrence, every experience, every encounter is ultimately an outpicturing of your own creation. We live in the reality that we create for ourselves. You are the God of your garden, and nothing can grow in your garden unless you give it the permission to exist and to grow in that space. Everything that encounters, nothing is by chance, nothing is by coincidence, nothing is happenstance. Everything is an outpicturing or a reflection of your internal working or being, your outer world of form and experience. I hear some of you already thinking like, no, there's some things that, I've never even thought, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. I would have never created this, never thought this, but you ultimately did. Your outer world of form and experience is a reflection of your inner world of thought and feeling. That is a universal law. That is a universal, irreversible inevitability. Okay? That your outer world of form and experience will always be a reflection of what's taking place with you internally. And because our internal can sometimes be masked, it can be covered, it can be masquerading as something else inside of us, then we can begin to take our cues from what's happening externally to then do a deeper dive, a deeper examination of what's going on inside of us. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? I hope that I'm making sense to you. If I'm not, please put a question there, okay? In the chat. Okay, so the universe is designed to serve you, to obey you, to give you an outward representation of your internal being, your most dominant thought. However, as I said, this can be tricky at times because we're not always aware of what it is that we desire at our core. Many of us have subterranean, clandestine desires or thoughts or beliefs or ideas masquerading as something else inside of us. What do I mean by masquerading as something else? We are the type of being that we are. We have to find justification for the things that are taking place in our life. That's the reason people believe in devils and demons and evil spirits and other things of that sort, because they're trying to somehow make sense of why this is happening, why these things are occurring. They're trying to come up with some justification. And so they look external and say, well, this must be because of a demon, because the devil don't like me, because the devil is against me, because somebody's working witchcraft on me, because somebody's put a spell on me, because of, I grew up in a certain neighborhood, I'm a certain color, or I come from a certain place, or because I never went to high school, or I never went to college, or I don't have a degree, and I don't have this, that, the other, or they look for something external to blame, because they have to find a way to justify in their mind why these things are occurring. And everything in society tells you to look outward. Everything, especially in religion, tells you to look outward, when in fact you have to turn inward. That the outward events are cues, they are clues, they are indications of an internal issue that has yet to be addressed. I was having a conversation with a person, a friend of mine, and they were saying, speaking about the idea that all their life they've never really had people who were a part of their life who were really friends to them. They were a good friend to the other people, but people were really not their friend. That they were always there for them, but when they needed someone to be there for themselves, then the people that they had been there for were not there. And I began to say to them a very hard truth. That is because that is how you have designed your life. And they went on to begin to say, well, no. I love helping people, and I like being able to be there for people and helping them and assisting them with their life and other things of that sort. I've always been that kind of a person. I don't mind giving and nurturing and being there for them. And I'm like, no, and I said something that was, a little bit tough to hear, but I'm sure, but what I said to them is that no, what you are is an enabler and maybe a little bit codependent. That there is something within that those are indicators to you. If people are only treating you the way you allow them to treat you. You teach people how to treat you, and you attract the people that align with who you are or how you view yourself. Are you hearing what I'm saying? If you are always attracting people who are needy, and yet they in turn give you nothing in return, everything in the universe is based upon exchange. So even when it looks like they're not giving you something, they are definitely giving you something. They are just not giving you what you outwardly desire, but they are giving you what you internally desire. There's an exchange that is taking place. They're coming to get their particular need met by you, and you in turn get what you need, because your need is to be needed. Lord have mercy. Yeah, you have a desire to be needed, and that's where the little codependency comes in. It's like I gain the validity and self-worth and self-esteem from being there, and now I can see myself as Captain Saver. I'm run to the rescue, and I'm a good person because I help everyone that's in need. And so people are always coming to me with their needs. Now I can't go to anyone else. Yeah, but why? Why are you always attracting those people who always bring their burdens and lay them on you, and yet they're not willing to be there for you? And here's the other part of that equation, ladies and gentlemen. As long as they are feeding your need to be needed, and they will only, let me rephrase, they will only feed your need to be needed as long as they need you. Let me say that again. They will only feed your need to be needed as long as they need you. What do you do when they no longer need you? And when they no longer need you, now you feel rejected. Now you feel used. Now you feel hurt or broken, or you feel deceived. You have all of these feelings come up because, but I was there for you when, and I did this, and I was there, and I was there, and I was there. Yeah, but they never returned that back to you. Never gave you any indication that they felt that way about you. They came to get their need fulfilled. And once their need is fulfilled, then they no longer need you or see you as a need, and so they move on to what they really desire, and you are left feeling rejected and feeling hurt and feeling used by the person when in fact they gave you exactly what you desired. You desired to feel needed. And so they gave you an opportunity to feel needed. They gave you an opportunity to fulfill your desire to rescue. They gave you an opportunity to be in that space where you feel like you are helping them along the way. And look at how wonderful I am because I'm providing them this space to grow and develop and to become and do this, that, or the other. And I'm supporting their dream and supporting their this, that, or the other. And then when they no longer need you, you feel robbed. You feel rejected. Are you understanding what I'm saying? You feel rejected and you feel robbed because that need to be needed is no longer being fed. So you have to begin to examine from that external cue, what's happening here? Why do I keep attracting these type of people? If you are attracting the same type of people and people are drawn to you, they are attracted to you, they connect with you because of the energy that you are transmitting, that you are radiating, that is emanating from you. If you keep attracting the same kinds of people, if you keep having the same to live experience over and over again, then you don't need to come to a conclusion about the external people or things or situations. You need to come to a conclusion about what's going on in you that continues to attract these experiences, people, encounters, and relationships. You keep having, the same old Ray come into your life and it's causing you pain and causing you hurt and causing you, they're abusive, they disrespect you, they are users, they are all these things. It's like, and then you reach this erroneous conclusion that all men are this way, or all women are this way, or some even become one night minute, all black men, or all white men are this way, and all. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but it's easier to justify the reoccurrence by looking outward rather than looking inward, and start asking, why am I attracting these type of situations and relationships and encounters into my life? Why does this keep showing up? Why does this keep being a part of my reality? Why are these weeds constantly coming up in my garden? Because I haven't dealt with the root that is producing the fruit. I have not dealt with the underlying residue of thought, idea, belief, or concept within me that may be hidden beneath my conscious mind, in my subconsciousness, that may be hidden away, locked away in some dark shadow of my being that I have yet to deal with, that is now rearing itself or reappearing in my life in this form as a reflection of what's taking place internally. Ladies and gentlemen, every cyclical experience that you are having is tied to the internal substratum of your thought or thinking. It is tied to those thoughts, ideas, feelings, concepts, beliefs that you have accepted as your truth, whether consciously or unconsciously. They are being reflected back to you. So we can begin our inner self-examination by examining these external cues, to start asking the why to the what. Why does this keep occurring? Why do I handle money so badly? Why do I have so many bad relationships? What's the reoccurring theme in this particular event? What is the singular scarlet thread that I see running through all of my relationships, all of my financial dealings, all of my family dealings, are you understanding what I'm saying? What is that singular thread? And then follow it back to its origination. Follow it back to its root. Follow it back internally and find out, where does this come from? What is the why? What's the why? Why am I behaving this way? It's not just who is attracted and what is attracted to you, but also what you are attracted to. You see, every bad, broken, dysfunctional relationship that you have ever had didn't begin, or it may have begun, you didn't always perceive it as broken, dysfunctional, or bad. And that particular person that you attracted into your life, it wasn't a one-sided event. You not only attracted them, but you were attracted to them. So it's not just what you attract, but who you are attracted to. The larger question should be not why are these type of people always attracted to me? Why are you always attracted to them? Why do you always choose them? Why do you always choose the same situation, circumstance, or relationship or encounter? You keep choosing the same thing over and over again. Why do I keep choosing it? And you're not going to be able to change the choice just by sheer force of will. You have to find out the root of the choice, the reason, the why you keep making the choice. If you deal with the why, then you can begin to choose differently. If you don't deal with the why, then you will just mow the grass, and as soon as it rains, those roots are going to shoot up new sprouts, and the same weeds will exist again. Okay, your sheer force of will is not enough. I'm going to abstain from relationships altogether. That's it. I'm going to give it a rest. I'm going to stay out of relationships, stay out of this for however long. And then when that time period is over, and you think, well, I'm ready now. I'm going to get into a relationship. But then the same thing happens again, because all you did was mow the grass. You imposed your will and decided, I'm just not going to choose then. I'm just not going to enter into this. I'm just not going to participate. That doesn't eradicate the root. All it does is put it on pause until you decide to participate again. And then here it comes back again. The cycle starts all over again. And you begin to have the same experiences over and over and over and over. Because you never dealt with the underlying cause. You never dealt with that root that's embedded within the soul, within the psyche, within the psyche. And so you have to take your cues, instead of cursing the darkness, instead of cursing the situation, the circumstance, or the person. Take your cues from those external experiences, those things that keep showing up in your life, to do the self-examination to figure out the why. Why am I attracted to this person? Why do I always not only attract them, but I am attracted to them? Why do I keep seemingly entering into the same situations and circumstances over and over again? Why does it keep coming to me? And why do I agree to go to it? You see, if you never deal with that, then no matter what you do or where you go, you cannot get away from you. You are the common denominator. You can change cities. You can change jobs. You can change relationships. You can change your style, your clothing, your hair. You can change all of that, but you are still you. Whether you are in Florida or you're in Japan, when you get there, you will be there. And you will see those same situations occur again and again because you are creating them. You are creating them. You are the creator creating creation. You are the one creating the situation, the circumstance, the relationship that you keep encountering. And so you have to turn inward and begin to do the necessary shadow work. Remember, we talked about this before. Shadow work, meditation, prayer, affirmative prayer, to begin to uproot those things and rid yourself of it so that you're able to cultivate the soil of your soul for new and fresh seed. Seeds that align themselves with your highest and greatest good, your highest version of yourself. You have to uproot those old seeds that are there, those old ideologies and beliefs and concepts that may have been imposed upon you, in many cases have been imposed upon you through your childhood and your family, your environment, your religion, your culture, coming up as a child when your soul is most impressionable. And so you received these messages that began to load and encode themselves into your psyche. And now as an adult, unconsciously, that underlying thought, idea, belief about yourself is drawing to you situations and circumstances and relationships that reflect that underlying belief. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Feelings of abandonment, rejection, not being good enough, low self-esteem, not being enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough, not strong enough. Whatever those ideas that have been imposed upon you that you have accepted as your truth. And you can hear it in people's conversation. They'll say, well, I know I'm not that smart, but, or I know I may not be the prettiest thing, but, or I know I may not be the strongest, but. Who said that you're not the prettiest or the strongest or the smartest? Who said that you're not any of that? Who says you're not smart? Who says you're not pretty, that you're not strong, that you're not insightful, that you're not creative, that are you understanding what I'm saying? That it's those little external cues, those things that come from your mouth or that keep reoccurring in your life that gives you the clue as to where to look for what's going on internally. There is a text in Hebrews that says that everyone should examine themselves lest they find any bitter root, that when it springs up, it not only defiles them, but everyone that they come in contact with. Bitter roots are usually judgments and ideas and concepts and beliefs that have formulated your truth. And if you don't dig up those bitter roots, they are not going to remain roots. They are going to germinate and sprout up and produce a fruit that is a reflection of that root. You have to do the internal examination. If you are a person that is experiencing and dealing with that deep-seated feeling or sense or idea of being abandoned and rejected, then you most often find yourself being a person that is an enabler and a bit codependent, because you have this need to be needed, to be liked, to be loved. You have a market-oriented personality, so that you adjust like a chameleon to the surroundings around you or the circumstance that you're in, because you're trying to please the people around you, because you want to be liked. You want to be accepted. You want to be loved. And so you draw to you people who are drawn to the personality that you have on the market at that particular time. And when they have gotten their fix, gotten what they desired from you, then they no longer need you. They discard you. They move on. And you are left there feeling hollowed, rejected, and used, because you never dealt with the underlying reason for the market-oriented personality in the first place, for those feelings and sense of being rejected or abandonment. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That how you view love, it is a strange phenomena that children who grow up in abusive homes grow up to become abusers, or they attract relationships that are abusive, because they have learned from a soulish level, they have interpreted that love involves abuse. It involves either verbal or physical abuse, but it involves abuse. And so that is their warped interpretation of what love is, and they find themselves replicating what has become their dominant thought, idea, or truth. And then it shows up in their life. It shows up in spades, multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Do men give into their bosom? Because the same measure that is meet is measured unto them again and again and again and again and again. I hope that I'm making sense to you. I hope that I'm getting through to those of you who are watching. I don't see a whole lot happening in the comment section at all. I hope that means that you're just listening and you're taking it in, and that it's making sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense, please say something in the comments, ask questions, and offer your own input. Okay? And so how we have to deal with what's going on inside of us. What's creating this cycle? What's creating this repeated experience in my life? Why do I keep having this same occurrence happen again and again and again and again and again and again and again? Why does it seem like I'm always the one to be used? Or I can't ever seem to hold on to money, or I can't hold on to a particular job or a job, or I can't seem to succeed or break through. There's something that's preventing me from getting to the other side. And I'm doing all of the things and following all of the 3 steps to this, 7 steps to that. And it seems to be working for other people, but it's not working for me. It seems this is working for this person, and I see them follow this particular instruction or trend or idea or concept and strategy, and it's working. But see, when I try it, it doesn't seem to work for me. You have to begin to ask the why, and not look external, not blame the strategy. Oh, that don't work because I tried that and that don't work, but it worked for them, but not for you. Why? Look inward. If it is a tried and true strategy, if it is based upon real principles, spiritual principles, universal law, and it's not working, then you have to find out what's preventing it from working. You see, you are designed to grow, to evolve, to expand, to accelerate, to multiply. If that is not happening, then you don't need to ask the question, it just went out of my head. But what you need to ask is, what's preventing me from doing what I am naturally designed to do? I'm designed to grow, to evolve, to expand, to accelerate, to multiply, to increase. I'm designed to have life and that more abundantly. I am the abundance personified. I am the abundance in three-dimensional form. What is preventing that from manifesting itself in my life? Not, why does this keep happening to me? Why are people doing this to me? How come nobody likes me? How come no one loves me? How come things never work out for me? Why does it seem like I'm always having bad luck? No, figure out what is preventing my natural, innate sense of being from manifesting in my life. This is my natural design, my innate design, my divinity is not being fully expressed. What is preventing it? Look for what is there that's sitting upon your divine being, your divine self, and keeping it from being fully expressed. What is preventing you from experiencing the abundance that you imagine? What is it that's preventing you from experiencing the love that you imagine? You have a great image of what love should look like, feel like, sound like in your head, but something is preventing you from experiencing that. It doesn't make what you have imagined any less a real possibility, because God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ever think or imagine. So I have to then begin to look deeper within to figure out what's preventing what I have imagined from manifesting in my life. I'm visualizing, I'm speaking it, I'm affirming it, I am confessing it, I am using mantras and other spiritual practices and tools, yet I don't seem to be manifesting it. What is preventing the manifestation of the reality that I'm creating within my conscious mind? I have to go into my subconscious mind, into my innermost being, and figure out what roots are there that are choking the life out of what my conscious desire is. Toya says, I am a caregiver by nature, so I have to decipher what is coming from inward thoughts. Yes. Yeah. And please understand, there is nothing wrong with being a nurturer, or a caregiver. That is a product of love in its purest form. But if you are motivated to nurture and to care, not out of love, but out of need, it somehow feeds your need to be needed, which is a product of ego, feeds your need to be needed. Then you have to ask, am I really a nurturer, a caregiver? Or is this what I have become in order to get what I think I'm lacking? Whew. Am I really this person? Is this really who I am? Or is this the mask that I've been wearing in order to get or garner what I think I'm lacking? Have I adapted? Have I reshaped my personality, my person, in order to get what I think that I'm lacking, what I believe that I'm lacking, or I believe I'm not worthy of, I don't really deserve? Because somewhere in my development, someone told me no one would ever love me or understand me or need me, that you'll never have anybody, that you're nothing, that you're nobody, that you are dumb, that you are stupid, that you are crazy, that you're lazy, that you are always be broke, you'll always be this, that, or the other. And so you keep adapting and reshaping and reforming yourself, your behaviors, your choices, your decisions, to try and be what you think is necessary to give you what you think you're lacking. People who have a need, they think they have an underlying need to be needed, to be wanted, to be liked, to be loved, will take on a personality of adaptability and will lose themselves trying to be whoever the object is at the time that they are trying to get love from, to become what they think will garner love from them. Or you don't want me to dress this, or you don't want me to act this, or you don't like it when I do this, that, or you don't like this, that. Oh, okay, well then I'll stop. I'll be what you desire me to be, so that you can give me what I desire, and that is what I think I'm lacking. That is love and acceptance. So you don't want me to say this? You don't want me to act this way? You don't want me to do this? You don't want me to behave this way? You want me to look this way? Okay, then I'll change. I'll change. I'll be whatever you need me to be. Just don't leave me. Just don't stop fulfilling what I think I lack. Stop giving me. Don't stop giving me what I think I don't have. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And so you find yourself fitting into a space where you're not comfortable. It's painful, sometimes degrading, disrespectful, but it feeds that part of you. It feeds that underlying part of you that says, I lack this. They're giving it to me. So maybe this is the price I have to pay in order to get what I lack. So you don't want me to wear black? I won't wear black because I need you to like me. I need you to accept me. I can't risk your rejecting me. Even when you're hurting me, even when you're causing me pain, I'll keep silent. I won't say anything because I'm afraid that if I tell you how I really feel, you won't want me anymore. You won't love me anymore. You'll reject me. You'll walk out of my life. Then what am I going to do? Who am I without you? How am I going to move? How am I going to exist? And so I can't run the risk of living in my own truth and telling you what I really feel, that I'm hurting, because I don't want to run the risk, the greater risk. I'll deal with the pain. The pain is a lesser risk than dealing with the absence, the rejection, the abandonment. feeling alone and unwanted, unloved, undesired, of losing again. Are you hearing me? You would be surprised at what people will put up with just because they want to feel wanted. When everything around them in the situation or circumstance or the relationship says that the other person or people involved don't want them, they will adjust and change and twist themselves in pretzels to fit into that space that the other seems to be demanding, just so that they can feel wanted. And here is the diabolical part of that is, it will never be enough. Never. 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 No matter how many things you change, no matter how many times you adjust, no matter how many colors you shift to, no matter how much you adapt, you can be the most prolific chameleon in the world. You will never do enough to get from them what you think you lack, because they have no desire to give you that. They'll even say as much. And you'll still find a way to say, oh, no, that's not what you really think. That's not what you really feel. You really do love me. You really do care for me. You really do want me. You really do. Yeah. I just need to change this and do this. And maybe if I do this, and maybe if I behave this way, and maybe if I don't do this, and I don't do that, and I'll adapt to this, and I change this, and I shift this around. And if I put this over here and that over there, and I rearrange the furniture, then I'll be new. And you'll want me. See? I can be that. That's what you want. I can be that. That's what you, I can do that. Yes, Kayla, it is. She says, that's an uncomfortable truth right there. I forgot I should be putting these on screen. Kayla says, that's an uncomfortable truth right there. And it is. And all of your adjusting and shifting and rearranging will never be enough. It'll never be enough. And so you find yourself stuck in that cycle when what you really need to shift is internal. It's not the external. Internal. Deal with the why. Why is that? Do you think that you're lacking that you need to be liked, loved, and accepted? Why do you think that you're not liked, loved, and accepted for who you really are? And when you are able to unearth that and deal with that and learn to fully accept and love yourself, then you'll not only attract others who do the same, but you will be attracted to those who align with that vibrational frequency. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You will attract those that align with that vibrational frequency. It's a terrible situation to find yourself in, trapped in a cycle where you are ever having to change and adapt and masquerade, all because you have this desire that will never be fulfilled by that thing or that person. Any fulfillment you get will only be temporary, because at their root, they don't really care for you like that. They don't love you like that. They don't view you like that. They view you as someone who will adapt to and feed whatever their egoic desire is, what they think they're lacking at the moment, until they decide they want something else. I no longer need that. I need this now. And they know you are a dependable foil. You will do exactly what's necessary to give them what they think that they need. And so they say, well, I'm going to give it another chance. I'm going to give you another chance. And you think, oh, goodness, they've changed. No, they just know you will. We'll rehire you, but you have to meet these conditions. And so because you think you need to be rehired, you adjust and adapt, even if it's painful, it hurts, or it goes against what you intuitively know about yourself. You toss that and squeeze into that space so they'll rehire you in the position. Well, at least I got a job. At least I'm not alone. At least I have a man or a woman. Well, at least I have some money, some security. At least I belong. At least I have friends. And again, here's another diabolical part of it is that you'll begin to write a narrative in your own mind about the situation that does not align with the reality of the situation. Because you have to justify your acceptance of it. And so you tell yourself, well, they value me as an employee. They really do. They need me. That's the reason why they rehired me. That's the reason why I'm still here. They love me. I know they love me. They have to love me because I'm this. I do this for them. I do that. So I know they love me. They just don't know how to show it. And so you start writing this narrative in your head to somehow justify whatever's taking place and justify your adaptation. They do. I know they love it. They may not act like it. They may not talk like it. But they love me. They do. They just got a funny way of showing it, that's all. They're different. I understand. Nobody else may understand it, but I understand. We right here. See, I got this. I just know. They don't mean no harm. They talk to me that way, treat me this way, but they don't mean no harm. They're not even thinking about it. It's just, but I know deep down, they love me. You have written a new narrative, a script within your own mind. Because the alternative is something that you can't bear. Because the alternative is the feeling of rejection. That feeling of abandonment, alone, loss, lack. Can't bear that. So I'll stay here and convince myself that here is better. Do I really need that? I don't really need that. So it's okay. I understand why they don't give me that. They don't affirm me. They don't support me. They don't. Maybe it's because, what I'm doing is not supportable. It's not. I don't need to really be affirmed. I can affirm. You know what? Yeah, it's not them. It's me. Because you have to have some narrative, something that you tell yourself so that you keep staying and you keep putting up with it and you keep accepting it. We teach people how to treat us by what we're willing to accept. And what we're willing to accept is tied to who we think we are. I'm going to say that again. You teach people how to treat you by what you are willing to accept. And what you are willing to accept is tied, linked, and tethered to who you think you are. Let that marinate. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You have to know at the core of your being that you are worthy, that you are enough, worthy of love, worthy of acceptance, worthy of peace and happiness and joy. Peace, that you are worthy, that you are enough, exactly as you are right now. Who you are being as well as who you are becoming is enough, and that you will attract and be attracted to those who align with that truth, and those who don't, okay. Moving right along. But it begins in here. If you don't know how divine, how brilliant, how wonderful, how beautiful, how intelligent, how splendiferous you are, if you don't see yourself as all of those things, and it's not just mere words that come out of your mouth. Oh, I know I'm wonderful. Yeah, but do you? Do you? It's not just words, but you know that. Then you'll begin to attract and be attracted to those people, places, and things that align with that truth. It's not just mere words. I hear people all the time who say, I know that I'm this, I know I'm wonderful, I'm great, I'm this, that, 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 that. But then they attract and are attracted to situations, circumstances, people, places, and things that don't align with that. And somehow they have created a narrative within their own mind to justify the existence of these things that don't align. There's a but. You have to know that you are beautiful, that you are desirable, that you are intelligent, brilliant, that you are good, that you are enough. Exactly in the space and place that you are in, you are enough. You're enough. And any person, place, or thing that does not align with that understanding is not for you. Stop seeking external validation and validate yourself. You are enough. That's right. With all of your tendencies, your idiosyncrasies, what you might determine to be flaws or weaknesses or whatever, everything, the totality of your being, you are worthy. You are enough. You are divine. You are wonderful. Worthy of honor, love, respect. And if you don't know it, then you'll keep seeking it instead of just accepting it and attracting it and being attracted to it. You'll keep seeking it. You'll keep seeking it. And you'll keep changing and adapting, not of your own innate adaptability and evolution, but you adapt because you're seeking that acceptance, validation from something else to feed what you think that you lack. Can I tell you something? You don't lack anything. I will say it again, and I know what I'm saying. You do not lack anything. Anything. You are a divine expression of the all of everything. You are divinity in jeans and a t-shirt. You are divinity walking around in three-dimensional form. You lack nothing. There is nothing wrong with you, broken about you. There is nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing lacking. You have no need, no lack, no want. You are complete in and as God. Complete. And you evolve and you grow and you expand and you even change those things that serve your highest version of you, not to serve anybody else's version of you. You only adjust those things that serve and align themselves with that highest version or vision of your being. Not to try and be the vision or version that someone else holds within their mind or demands that you become or be. This is who I need you to be if you're going to be in my life. Well, then I won't be in your life. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And yes, we go through traumas and brokenness and dysfunction that can leave scarring that somehow influences our thoughts and our words and our deeds, our behaviors, our choices and decisions. But even in that space, you are still enough. And those who sincerely love you, if they do, can love you as you are while you are healing, and vice versa. And not tolerate. Please understand there's a difference between loving and tolerating. Because we can tolerate a whole lot of things, especially if we think that it's giving us something that we desire. Then we'll tolerate this because it feeds another part of me. But that doesn't mean it's love. That just means they tolerate. I'll put up with it. And put up with it. Because I don't want anyone to think, or I don't want them to think, or I don't want people to think, or I don't want no one to think that I'm this way, that way, or the other. So I'll put up with and I'll tolerate this. So we cleansing the soul by using these external cues, looking at all of these reoccurring cyclical events that keep taking place, they're on repeat, on a loop in our life. And realizing that the only way to get off the merry-go-round is for you to jump off. The only way that the cycle is broken is if you break it. The only way that it ends is if you end it. And that means doing the internal work necessary to bring yourself in alignment with your own true divinity. You exist as a human, but you live like a God. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Nobody's obligated to accept you, and you're not obligated to accept anyone else. That's optional. You do have to accept yourself. If you have any hope at living an abundant life, you do have to accept who you are. Rediscover your true identity and live in that space and place. Live in that truth. Accept who you are, and that who you are is enough, valuable, wonderful, acceptable. You do have to do that. You have to, or it's just going to be rinse, wash, rinse, and repeat. You're going to keep going through this same cycle. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Get out of this relationship into another one that looks just like it. Get out of this job, get into another one that's just like it. Get out of this situation, get into another one that's just like it. Get out of this circumstance, get into another one just like it. Get out of that, get right back into that. I think we're going to stop there. It's tough. It's tough. I don't, on any level, want you to get the idea that I think all of this is simple and easy. It's tough. It's tough having those hard conversations with yourself, facing your own truth, dealing with your own realities and who you really are, and shedding those old behaviors and ideas and thoughts. Shadow work can be messy, ugly, painful, but it is so necessary. It yields such beauty and brilliance. It absolutely does. Isn't it worth it to be and live the life that you really desire? So I'm not even talking to you about confronting other people, places, or things. I'm talking about confronting yourself. Confront yourself. Look inward. Figure out. Everything around me is pointing to a deficit within me, something that I need to address. Everything that's happening in my life is pointing back at me. All the things that are occurring out here are reflecting back at me. Even when we were doing the whole 90 days of abundance, the whole point and purpose behind the 90 days of abundance plan is to shift your mindset about abundance, to start thinking differently, viewing yourself differently, understanding and knowing yourself as an abundant being, so that it begins to reflect back to you. If you didn't follow the steps and follow the principles, do the meditations, consistently to shift that energy within you, shift that mindset, that outlook, you're still getting the same results you were getting before. And abundance seems to be out of reach, out of grasp, just eluding you. Because the external world has no choice. The universe has no choice. Has no choice. Has no choice. The spirit world, the kingdom of God, whatever word you want to use, terminology, has no choice. Faith has no choice but to give you the things that you expect, that you hope for, and give you the evidence that the thing you don't see really does exist. It has no choice but to give you an outpicturing of what is your most dominant thought, belief, or your truth. So you have to deal with that interior issue. And just like clockwork, just like it has been doing your entire existence, faith, the universe, the spirit world, the kingdom of God, again, terminology, semantics, will begin to produce this new, higher version of yourself that you have now adopted. And it'll give you that outward experience and form of that new interior idea, concept, belief, or truth. That's it. I'm serious. You won't have to go looking for it. It will come to you. You won't have to go and try and find it. It will come to you. Opportunities come to those who expect opportunities. Love comes to those who know that I am love. I have an expectation to be loved, to be accepted. I know I'm enough. I know I'm good. I'm wonderful. And it will come to you. It will. Remember the affirmation in the 12 daily that I sent out to all of you. Those of you who get the daily, get the text messages. One of them says, "I do not chase, I attract. What is for me will find me effortlessly." Will. When I become it, it is drawn to me without effort, without work, without me looking for it. I don't have to go seeking it, searching for it, knocking and trying to pull down doors, and it will find its way to me effortlessly. You got to know that. So as you deal with those internal issues and recognize that I am all that I have desired. I am love and joy and peace and happiness, fulfillment, abundance, grace and goodness. Then those things in form and experience will find you effortlessly. Okay. Gotta stop, man. It's been an hour and a half. Great day. Any questions before we get off? Any questions at all? All right. As always, if you'd like to give and contribute, and I would hope that you will, especially for those of you, I'm so grateful for those of you who tithe and support this ministry of this work with your tithe, this platform by tithing into it. And as I've said many times before, and I was about to put up the placard, but before I do that, I want to look into the camera and say this. Tithing is not a commandment. It is not a law. It is a principle. I will say it again. Tithing is not a commandment or a law. You're not going to be cursed with a curse if you don't tithe and all that kind of craziness. It is a principle that you practice, a spiritual principle, a mechanism, a vehicle through which you are able to express fully the essence of your being, which is love. And love's greatest expression is generosity. So when you tithe and you return that, give that as to support a particular platform or a person or a particular thing, then you begin to enact all of the laws of abundance. And we've talked about this before. There are 6 laws of abundance: law of attraction, the law of increase, the law of circulation, and so on and so on and so forth. Okay, law of compensation, the law of cause and effect. And so these are all those laws that come into action. Okay? Well, it's not a command, but it is a spiritual principle. And I think the reason that maybe whoever the writer was in Malachi said you're cursed with the curse is because they see the flip side. They saw the flip side. Because remember, cause and effect. So if you're not a giver, you're not a tither, you're not a sower, you're not a generous person, then the effect of that is that you don't see that flow of currency coming back in. And so it can look like you're cursed, but you're really not cursed. You are getting the results of cause and effect. You are getting the result of your interaction with the law. So you're miserly and stingy, or, where life is concerned, people are concerned, giving is concerned, then you sow sparingly, you reap sparingly. You give little, you get little. And it might look like you curse. You're not cursed. It's just, that's kind of a silly thing to say. You're not cursed. You are getting the effect of the seeds of causality. Okay? So you know me, I'm very straight with this kind of thing. I'm not going to sit here and try and coerce and manipulate you to give and manipulate and coerce you to tithe. It is a spiritual practice and principle that should you choose to participate in, then you will get the corresponding results. If you choose not to, you'll get the corresponding results of that too. That is neither a curse or anything else. It's just simply the law, universal law. All right. So if you decide that you'd like to give and support this platform, you want to tithe or give or however you choose to express your generosity, you can do so by using the means that are on the screen. I appreciate all of you who are supportive of what we do here. Thank you so much for helping us to be able to build this platform and to expand it and grow it and continue to bring these conscious conversations to the world around us. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a participant and a supporter of what we are doing here. I appreciate it. All right. I'm done. If there are no, let me go back over here. I see a few comments came up. Oh, just great conversation. Grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I do. All right, guys, have an absolutely wonderful day. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you. And I will see you back here next Sunday at 9 a.m. Bye, everybody.